All right, good morning. Good morning. This is the Committee on Parole. We're being called to order. It's March the 20th. The time is 9:03 in the morning. We're at Baton Rouge headquarters of DOC. With me to my left is Chuck Tillis, and to my right is Danny Barra. And staff here at headquarters, would you introduce yourself? Okay, thank y'all for being here. Our first place of business that we're going to is going to be Raymond Laborde Correctional Center. And Warden, tell us, would you introduce yourself, please, sir?
Good morning, everyone. Warden Marcus Myers.
Okay, you by yourself there in the room?
No.
Raven Heath Classification, Melissa Joshua Records.
Okay, well, we thank you for hosting us today, and we're going to be with you for, I think, just two hearings, parole hearings, and then we'll be through our first parole hearing that we're going to have is Mr. Adam Cambre. Are you Mr. Adam Cambre?
Yes, sir.
And what's your DOC number, sir?
00724422.
Okay, we appreciate that, and we're gonna have two people that are gonna be speaking. One is gonna be for your request for parole, and one is against your request for parole. For you, in just a few minutes, we're gonna talk to Adam Cambre. Am I saying that name right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then we're gonna talk to Randall Meyer, who is in opposition. He's with the DA's office. And so we'll get to that in just a minute. Mr. Cambre, you're asking us to parole you. That's your request this morning. And so why don't you tell us why you think you're going to be why you should be paroled. Then we're going to hear from from your wife or your mother, excuse me. We're going to hear from your mother. Then we're going to hear from the DA. And then we're going to turn it over to Mr. Chuck Tillis, who's going to do some interviewing of you, and then we're going to vote. Real simple process. So go ahead, and why don't you start out? Tell us what you've done to rehabilitate yourself. Tell us about whatever else you want to talk about.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, while I was here, I'm enrolled in 3 classes: Living in Balance, one that helps you rehabilitate yourself with drug use, which I had a problem with, and Free Release, which helps you learn things that get back in the world and try and do things the right way this time and not do it the way I was. And Cage of Rage's anger management helped me with the anger problems that I had, such like that. And basically, I'd like to see if I can get back out in the world, show y'all I can do it differently this time. I'm a diesel mechanic at the Radiator Shop in New Orleans, and I'd like to contribute to my community, you know. And I'd also like to get back out there to help my parents. My parents are both disabled.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is that all you need to tell us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Warden, what kind of fellow has he been in jail?
Well, see, we've only had Adam since December. He hasn't been here at my facility that long, but as he said, he's enrolled in some good classes. We got him in several things right now. He's had no write-up, so he hasn't been a disciplinary concern at all. You know, he has a 2-year sentence. I believe he served how long? About 13 months on it. My only recommendation is that he complete these classes prior to his release, no matter what the board's decision today is, because we had a long conversation yesterday. He had a problem with methamphetamines, with drugs, so he needs to complete this substance abuse program that we have him in, and this anger management program. So that would be my recommendations today.
Okay, thank you, Warden. We appreciate that. We have a lot of respect for what you have to say. Let's go on to Miss Annette Cambre, who is the mother. Do we have her on Zoom? Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm new to this.
That's okay. We can hear you fine. And everything is great. Just tell us what you think about your son getting out.
My son has a very big heart. He's a very hard worker. He was mixed up with some people when he wasn't living with me, and they were bad people. And he was trying to get back on the straight and narrow when he moved back in here. Like they said, both me and my husband are disabled. In fact, my husband's in the hospital right now, so that's why he's not here with me. Adam helps us out a lot. His boss loves him to death. He's waiting for him to come back. He's held his position so he can come back and like I said, we really need him here to help us out. And yes, he has been in the trouble in the past, but he is trying to get back to where he needs to be.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be too emotional.
That's okay, I understand. It's a big deal for a mom.
It
Now,
is.
is that all you need to say to tell us?
Yes, sir. And I miss
Okay.
him, love him very much.
Okay, thank you for that. Mr. Meyer, Randall Myers, are you on the? Are
Yes,
you on-
sir.
Yes, sir.
Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. My concern with Mr. Cambre is when he does get out, because he's not going to be that long getting out, that he stays out. And I agree with what the warden said. And looking at what he's done since incarcerated, the programming I'm seeing, he hasn't completed any of them. I think he clearly needs some long-term substance abuse programming, and that is confirmed by his answer previously of Mr. Cambre in his statement when he said he had a drug problem. He not only had a drug problem, I think he still does have a drug problem. He was placed in drug court, didn't attend the classes, and produced a diluted drug screen, which is why he was revoked and sent to jail. So I think before he gets out, he clearly needs to complete a long-term substance abuse program and whatever other programs he has available to help him with his rehabilitation. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Meyer. We appreciate that. Okay, Mr. Cambre, your case has been assigned to Mr. Tillis, who's going to ask you a few questions, and then we'll follow up with any questions, and then we'll vote.
Good morning, Mr. Adams.
Good morning.
Gordon answered some of the questions I was interested in, and that's the programming. I saw where you hadn't done programming, and I agree with him 100% that you need to do this. Do you feel you have a drug problem?
Yes, yes.
You do? So what are you planning to do if you're released, once you're released?
I plan on staying away from all the people that I was fooling with before and focusing on work, my family, trying to start my own family.
What about continuing drug classes?
Yes, sir. I'd like to continue AA and NA, and I'd like to actually become a sponsor, someone's sponsor, to help them furthering what I did, maybe,
How far did you go in high school?
12th grade.
You did. You ever thought about continuing it? I mean, your education?
Well, I'm a diesel mechanic, so I found my career for life, honestly.
I got you. I have no more questions.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Cambre, when are you going to be getting out anyway? No, regardless of what we do today, when are you going to get out?
When I finish my classes, that should give me good time, and I should get out around April 27th of 25.
At what day?
April 27th or 28th of 2025.
So regardless of what we do today, you're getting out in a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I got. That's all the questions I have.
I'd like to go for executive session. A second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
Steve Prater,
Yes.
Chucky Tillis,
Yes.
Danny Barros.
Yes.
Release right now.
Yes, ma'am.
You feel
Okay, Mr. Cambre, we've had a short executive, so we need to have a motion to get back in?
I make a move that we get back into it.
Second. Motion second. All in favor, nod your head, I guess. Okay, we're back in regular session now. I think it's time for us to vote. Mr. Tillis, you'll lead off.
Mr. Adams, I agree with the warden there. And my vote's gonna be to deny, pending that you complete these classes.
Yes.
I'm gonna concur with Mr. Phillips.
Okay, and I concur also. You're gonna be getting out in a short time anyway. You
Yes.
hope to get all these classes behind you in the next little bit. Warden will try to help any way he can, I know, because that's the kind of place he runs. And then when you get out, best of luck. Stay away from those other people and stay away from all the other criminal activity you've been involved in. All right,
sir.
that's here at 9:14. Thank you. Okay, good morning. Are you Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you being here. We're still at Raymond Laborde. And got the same folks that was in the room, I assume, as when we had. And Warden, thank you for hosting us. Mr. Ramirez, do you know your DOC number?
574265.
Okay, all right, and we're gonna talk to you in just a minute about why you feel like you're deserving of a parole, why you should get out early. And then when you get through telling us that, we're gonna hear from the warden. Then we're gonna hear from your aunt, Miss Maris Riz, who will be on Zoom. And then we have someone that is a friend of your aunt's that's going to translate for us or help us if there's any confusion. Then we're going to switch down and talk to the people in opposition of you getting out early, Mr. Randall Meyer. And then I'll be conducting the interview since this is my case, and then we'll ask questions. So it's real simple process, okay? So why don't you start us off and you tell us what you've done since you've been there, what got you there, and talk to us a little bit about why you deserve to get out in your mind.
Sir, I was young man that I could make a stay in my life. That I did something wrong in my life. That I asked Mr. Hillman for forgiveness. I hope she forgive me what I done her. And I'm really sorry what I done to her. I will pray God that she forgive me. And she give me another chance in life that to be able to go back with my family and my country. And I'm really so sorry for that done that. I will pray God that she fulfill her pain and sorrow that her come in a better life and a better human being in life that every step she do be full of love and compassion. That I regret what I done, man. I'm really sorry that I don't have no word to explain really how sorry I am. What I done that was wrong. I really apologize to the community, to the neighbors, to her family, to my family. At the time I be in prison, I be working my responsibility. They understand that what I did was wrong and how I can do better. To the prison, we go to classes, AA lives in Barication Road, and I'm so blessed that had the opportunity to work in my stuff in my life, how I can come be a better man. And I had to say that my possibility what I done was wrong, and I really, it's all I ask to parole board, man, give me another chance to get back with my family, my country, back with my family, and my family be suffering too. I really hurt my family too. I can't explain how I'm sorry I am. Man, it's a hard sometimes we can stay in a life that really like we had our friends, the community, to everyone that we put it in the light that paranoids, and I think God that showed me the way that how I can come and be better man and understand my responsibility. Like God is the one that time we go to a church that submit to Him, that changed my life. The thing I can't change, and I really it's all I ask to you. They give me another chance. They back at home with my family, and I really sorry what I done.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for those. Thank you for those words. Warden, what kind of fellow has he been since he's been there?
Well, Mr. Prater, he's been with me for about a year. No disciplinary concerns at all in that year. He hasn't had a write-up now since it was about 5 years, January of 20, when he was at another facility. You know, he during our conversation yesterday, he does show remorse. I do believe that he's remorseful for his actions. He's had some classes since he's been here with me, but we cannot find anywhere where he's completed the sex offender program, risk management. He says that he completed it at another facility. We cannot find that, cannot find records of it at the other facility we've reached out. So obviously, you know, I believe he needs this. And even if he did have it, somebody lost the record, it's not gonna hurt to do it again. He needs that programming, because obviously we will do everything we can to prevent this from happening again. So I would recommend, and he is also, I'm sorry, he's involved in my literacy program. He had quit this program at another facility. We got him back involved in it. He's making progress. So he only has 2 years left. I'd like to see him complete the risk management sex offender program. I'd like to see him get further with his literacy program and even work towards his GED. And last but not least, my victim impact program, very important program, because obviously there's victims here. Obviously, he needs to understand, have a better understanding of the pain that he's caused to the community, to the victim, to the families and his family. So those are my recommendations. Sorry for being long-winded.
Thank you, Warden. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Let's switch to the aunt, Miss Morris Reyes. Miss Reyes, are you here?
Rivas, yes, I am here, sir.
Okay, would you tell us what you want to tell us about your nephew, please? And you are.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maria, his aunt, I believe she's on mute. Maria, I'm the interpreter. I'm sorry. Maria, quita ponga el audio, María. Mari. Oh my gosh, she didn't. Mari.
Is she in the room with you?
No, it's because I'm at work and I was supposed to connect with her. She was supposed to connect the
Okay.
yes, I was just gonna interpret it because she don't speak English, sir.
Okay.
We gave her the room ID, but I believe she's waiting because right now over here is 10:27 and she was waiting to be 8:30. She believed that it was gonna start at 8:30.
Okay. What time is it there now?
Over here is 10:27, sir.
Okay. We're running late for your time clock.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Let
Tell
me.
you what, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on with the hearing. And we're
Yes.
gonna talk to Mr. Randall Meyer, who is in opposition. And then I'm gonna come back and start my interview. And at any time during this, you can call in and talk to these folks, the staff here, and we can take your testimony or the aunt's testimony at any point before.
What I can help with, sir, I'm so sorry. What I can help with is I'm a friend of his mother, and I've been in Honduras before with his mother, and also his father, his stepfather is there. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna move from my job. I'm at my office, sir. I work. It's a lot of noise. Okay. I spoke to his mother, which is she's also his grandfather just passed away. And right now his father is really sick and he needs to go back to his country and take care of his mother and his father right now.
Okay.
He's they alone in Honduras. And I believe he deserved a chance. And his mother believed that he deserved a chance to be released and go back to his country, take care of his parents.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for those words, and we will take those into consideration also. Mr. Randall Meyer, would you tell us what you're thinking, sir?
Yes, sir. Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. We are strongly opposed to Mr. Ramirez's request for parole. He was 19 and raped an 11-year-old child on a number of occasions, pled guilty to forcible rape. The DOC record does not show he's taken any sex offender classes, and that's clearly needed. I agree with the warden that those are some courses that he really needs to take before he's even considered for parole, as well as the victim impact class. There's strong victim opposition. The progress report indicates a fair institutional record, and I think that's based on the prior disciplinary reports on as the warden said, has not had one in about 5 years, but between, I believe it was 2011 and 2020, he had 11 disciplinary reports. So for those reasons, we're strongly opposed to his request.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that. Okay, let's see, Mr. Ramirez, let me ask you just a couple questions. I'll make this pretty brief. I just want to make sure I got the record straight on this. You are 36 years old, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you were charged with aggravated rape when you were 19 years old. You were charged with aggravated rape of an 11-year-old. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But you pled guilty to forcible rape, correct?
Sir.
Okay, you were given 20 years, I believe it was 20 years to serve without parole, probation, or suspension of sentence. And now, how many years have you served?
17 years with 3 months.
Okay, served 17 years. You're gonna get out in a couple of years regardless. We have opposition from the sheriff, the DA, the attorney general, the judge, and the victim. And all those facts are true, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the only questions I got. Mr. Tillis, you got any?
I have no questions.
Okay, there are no questions from any of us. I have to vote first. My vote is that you not be eligible for parole yet because of the seriousness of the crime, because of the disciplinary record while you've been there, because you have not had the training or the classes that you should have. And you understand you have an ICE detainer on you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as soon as you finish serving all of your sentence in a couple years with us, then ICE will come and get you and get you back to Honduras if that's their decision they make. Okay, you understand all that?
Yes, sir.
Hey, the time is 9:32. That we didn't vote yet.
You did. We did.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry.
I'm going to concur with Mr. Tillis. Mr. Prater.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, so that you know, I'm voting and it takes 3 of us. Okay, it takes 3 to make a positive deal. I'm voting that we deny your parole.
And I'm concurring with that.
Okay, and another vote to deny.
I concur.
And another vote to deny. I apologize for getting that messed up, but your parole request is denied at this particular time. And it's 9:33 in the morning. Okay, Mr. Eugene, is that you? You're on mute.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Okay, how are you doing today?
Fantastic, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Good.
All right. Let's see, we're now at Hunt Correctional Center. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you introduce yourselves, please? Everybody, all the staff that's in the room?
Deputy Warden Stephanie Michelle. Christy LeBlanc, classification.
Dr. John Prejean, Medical Director.
Joe Buttress, Assistant Warden.
Okay, we appreciate y'all being here and hosting us for today. Today, we're going to be talking to Eugene Oracious. Am I saying that right, Mr. Oracious?
Yeah.
And that's your last name is Oracious, correct?
No.
Your last name is Eugene.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'll call you Mr. Eugene. Okay, the first thing we want to do is find out just why you feel like that you are entitled to or worthy or want to be released early. In your own words, tell us what you got to say to the board to try to convince us that you want to be out early. And then we're going to hear from the warden or assistant warden there, what kind of fellow you've been in jail. And then we're going to hear from your brother, and then we'll hear from Miss Leona Fitzgerald, who's in opposition with Caddo Victims Assistance. Okay, so begin with, tell us why you feel like that you are worthy and deserving of getting out early.
I'm good.
Mr. Chairman, he has a very difficult time speaking due to his medical issues, so he's going to do his best. We have Dr. Prejean here to kind of help with what he would like to say.
Okay.
Why do you feel like you deserve to get out?
You have to
Tell
tell them. I'm good.
You good? You don't have anything to say? What do you have to say?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Mr. Chairman, he's indicated he has nothing to say.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on to the brother. Mr. Leo Eugene, are you with us today on?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So just a little brief background. He's been in for about over 27 years. I believe it was March or November of 1997 when he went in, and in that time he ended up getting struck by lightning. That's what caused his lack of ability to be able to speak. But the reason that I'm speaking on his behalf is because before and where we were, the situations were a lot different. And I think that having him be released and being in an environment that does not breed negativity, and having someone around him, especially like family, that's able to take care of him and able to make sure that he's mentored properly, and not being in a situation or an environment that creates hostile environments or radical decision making. I think that 27 years being in, I think, especially with his condition, I think being around family would allow him to heal a lot better and give him some opportunities to work on his speech and making sure that he just work on becoming a productive citizen to society. And there's many ways that I feel that he could do that. I just retired from the military, actually March 1st. And before that, a year before that, I started my own business and in aerospace and defense with manufacturing. And I also have a consulting business. The businesses are doing pretty well. So he's going to be working alongside with me and making sure that situations like the situation that happened a long time ago don't happen because we're changing the environment that he was in. We didn't know what we didn't know, and now we know what we know. And I think that if he was paroled, his path to being a productive citizen is almost imminent, and I'll make sure of that.
Okay, thank you, sir. You sound like a really good brother, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Let's switch to Miss Fitzgerald. Miss Fitzgerald, would you tell us what's on your mind, please?
Good morning to the board. I'm Leon Fitzgerald. I'm representing the Caddo Parish DA's office. And of course, we are opposed in a case like this. I actually remember this case. I worked on it. I knew the victim, who was 10 years old at the time, and her mother, who's now deceased. And, you know, I remember her having to come up here to the DA's office to meet with adult total strangers about what happened to her. And I just want to remind the board of how extensively injured she was, not just the normal mentally and emotionally, but actually physically. She required surgery to repair her genital area after what happened to her at the hands of Mr. Eugene. So this was beyond the norm of what we see. And so at that time, there was no Children's Advocacy Center, so she had to tell her story over and over. Her mother is deceased now, or I feel like she probably would be on here speaking, because her mother reacted very appropriately at the time and was very active in making sure that the prosecution went forward and that the victim got the services that she needed. So I'm more concerned now after hearing what was just said, because I have a lot of concerns about Mr. Eugene's abilities based on his injury and what his brother, Mr. Eugene, says that he would be working alongside him. I mean, is he capable of working? And the fact that he had nothing to say, if that's a result of his disability, then I understand that. But if it's a result of him not bothering to write anything down on paper or communicate anything to the people in the room with him, then I have a real problem with that. And I wonder how he's going to be able to work and have a residence plan and live and do anything that that his brother has described if he can't make any kind of verbal or written statement at his parole hearing. So that we're opposed for certain.
Okay. Thank you for that. And now we'll go back. I intentionally, because he didn't have anything to say, and I had the same concerns. So I saved the part talking to the staff there. Tell us what's going on with this fella, and can he write? And do you think right? Is it just a voice problem?
No. In 2009, the history I've received, because I've only been back here 3 years, he was playing basketball, the weather changed, he got struck by lightning. It was a massive electrocution, left him with a massive heart attack, and fried half of his peripheral nervous system and probably part of his brain. So his disability is, and then he was trached. Actually, if I remember correctly, when he came here, they didn't think he was going to survive. But he did survive, and gradually over time, he has recovered some of his function. He's able to do most of his own activities of daily living. He can dress himself, he can feed himself, he can bathe himself. He still uses a walker to ambulate if he has to go long distance, if you will. Part of his speech impediment is dysarthria, is due to the fact that he had a tracheostomy for a very, very long time. Eventually, he was able to recover enough that the tracheostomy was removed, but the scarring and the nerve damage has left him with a limited ability to speak. I'm not a neurologist, I'm just a plain internist, but a lot of it's cognitive as well, that a lot of his communication ability is limited because of this massive electrocution that he suffered. And when you say, I mean, from a medical perspective, he would qualify for disability. Can you do things? Well, of course you can. You can always sit and file papers. You can always, things you can do. But I don't know if that helps with you understanding what's going on with him. But he does have some dysphagia as well. He's got to be careful with how he eats and what he eats. And like I said, the communication with him has been limited for the entire time that I've known him as a patient.
Can he write? Can he fill out a form?
I think he can you? Yeah, he can write.
So he could have written us a letter about why he deserves to get out if he wanted to.
Yes.
He said yes.
Okay. All right. Is it board members, Mr. Tillis?
I have no questions.
No question. Okay, I don't have any questions either. After having heard all the testimony and due to the serious nature of the crime, and the injury sustained in the crime when this 10-year-old was brutally raped, and I think he could have, if he wanted to communicate with us, I believe he could have written from what I'm hearing y'all say. Anyway, my vote is to deny. Mr. Tillage?
My vote's gonna be, because of law enforcement opposition, is to deny also.
And I concur.
Okay. Sir, your parole has been denied today. That's the end of this hearing there. We'll be back at Hunt in a few minutes. Time is 9:51, end of hearing.
Thank you.
Okay, gotcha.
Good morning. Is your name Genaro Gonzalez?
Yes,
Okay, am I saying that word right? I want to respect you. Is it Genaro?
Genaro Gonzalez.
I'm
Okay,
sorry, sir. I'm Maggie, the Spanish interpreter. Should I start interpreting right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Usted es Genaro, entonces.
Genaro, yeah.
Yes, he's pronounced Genaro.
Genaro
Or
Gonzalez.
Genaro. Genaro Gonzalez is okay, he
Yeah.
said.
Mr. Gonzalez, that'll be good. Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to, I'll be conducting I'm the chairman and I'll be talking to you first. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask you a little bit about why you did what you did or what you did and why you deserve to get out. And it'll be your time to talk to us. And you can tell us and try to convince us to let you out early. And then we're gonna hear what the staff at the facility there at Hunt has to say about how you acted there. And then we're going to hear from Ms. Camille. We're going to hear from Ms. Camille Tarver and hear what she's got to say in opposition. And then we're going to have a time, it'll be turned over to Mr. Tillis to do the interview. Then we'll ask questions, then we'll vote. It's a real simple process. Do you understand what I said?
Muy bien, señor, más fácil, señor González. Entonces, señor González, yo soy el presidente de la Junta. Primero voy a conversar con usted, le voy a hacer preguntas de, ¿verdad? Lo que usted hizo, por qué lo hizo. También usted va a después tener la posibilidad de explicarnos, ¿verdad? Por qué usted considera que usted merece ser liberado temprano o antes de tiempo. Posteriormente vamos a escuchar, ¿verdad? El personal del centro para que nos va a explicar cómo ha sido su conducta mientras ha estado ahí. También la señora o señorita Camille Turner, también vamos a escucharla, lo que ella tiene que decir en oposición a esto. El señor Tillis le procederá a hacer una entrevista, a hacerle preguntas y ya después nosotros vamos a conversar y emitir el voto. Es un proceso bastante simple. ¿Entiende? Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right. The show is yours. Talk to us and tell us what's on your mind. And I guess the interpreter then. Ma'am, would you introduce yourself again?
Yes, I am Maggie, Spanish interpreter, ID number 218146.
Okay, thank you. And
Señor,
Maggie will tell us what you're saying. Surely in 20 years, you picked up some English. If you can talk to us, fine. We'll try to pick out what we can. If not, Maggie, straighten us out. It's your show. Tell us what you want the board to hear.
muy bien, señor, es su show, ¿verdad? Entonces, puede decirnos qué es lo que usted quiere que la Junta escuche. Me imagino que usted en 20 años habrá aprendido algo del idioma. Si quiere, lo puede decir en inglés o Maggie nos puede ayudar con la interpretación. Entonces, puede explicarnos qué es lo que quiere decirnos.
Bueno, yo lo que puedo decir, yo no fui que cometí ese crimen. Ella dice que ella me vio, pero es mentira de ella. Es mentira. Y además dice ella que ella venía leyendo en la calle, en una oscuridad, cuando ella nunca era mi novia. Yo tenía algo con ella, 8 meses. Ella dijo que era 4 meses. Y es mentira de ella. Entonces, todo lo que ella había dicho en el corte era mentira.
El señor me dijo que ella estaba, ¿qué? ¿En la oscuridad?
Sí, que venía en la oscuridad ella.
Um, eh,
la calle donde pasa ella es muy oscuro.
The interpreter was asking for clarification. Yes, first, I must say that I did not commit the crime that she says that I committed. She says that she saw me, but it is a lie. She's lying. And in addition, she says that she was coming, in the darkness in that area. It was very dark. I had a relationship with her. She was my girlfriend for 8 months, but she said that our relationship was for 4 months. All she said in court was a lie.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, let's go to the institution there. Hunt, what kind of fella has he been?
Procedamos ahora a preguntarle a la institución, ¿qué tipo de persona ha sido él?
Well, I have, last revocation, November of 2023. Some of the files are, all I can see, some of the papers are missing, but maybe about 16 write-ups since he's been here. That's about it.
Ella dice que ella, bueno, tiene la información de la última evaluación que fue en noviembre del 2023. Hay información pues que parece que hace falta, pero lo que está viendo es básicamente, ¿verdad? Reportes desde que ha estado acá.
Okay, let's go now to Miss Tarver.
Ahora vamos a darle la palabra a la señorita Tarver.
Yes, sirs, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can, and thank you.
Sí, la escuchamos, gracias.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Tarver, go ahead and tell us what you think.
Sí, proceda, señorita Tarver, y nos dice lo que piensa.
You know, I almost didn't come here today because it's just the fear of, bringing up pretty much the most worst, horrific experience of my entire life. In fact, I didn't even go to work yesterday. I was so ill at ease. But I'm so glad I did come here today because you have to stop being afraid and you have to stand up for yourself and others. And that's something that I've had trouble doing. But the thing that I fear most now is so much anger. I can't believe he would say a lie. A lie? Are you kidding me? This man stalked me for months.
Un
He
momento.
was
I do
awful.
apologize, ma'am. I need you to speak in shorter, sentences so I can translate. Otherwise, I'll forget what you are
Of course,
saying.
for his benefit,
Thank
right?
you.
This
Yes,
terrible
yes.
person.
Bueno, su señoría, en realidad, el día de hoy, yo casi no asisto al día de hoy, por temor, ¿verdad? Porque, y recordar experiencia que ha sido la experiencia más horrible, más terrible de mi vida. De hecho, yo ayer no pude ir a trabajar, por lo que yo siento, pero en realidad creo que uno debe de dejar de sentir miedo y uno tiene que defenderse a uno mismo, defender a otras personas. Y ahorita lo que siento es mucha rabia, en realidad mucha rabia. No puedo creer que esta persona esté diciendo esta mentira porque esta persona me acosó por muchos meses. What else?
Well, I will speak slowly so you can describe to this absolute horror of a human being everything I say.
Thank you. Voy a hablar despacio para que por favor le describas a este horrible ser humano lo que estoy diciendo.
I not only saw Mr. Gonzalez, I felt him and I could smell him as he attacked me.
Y yo no solo vi al señor González, lo sentí y lo pude oler cuando me estaba atacando.
I think I will never forget that because everybody has like a certain smell, that combination of soap and sweat and whatever. And I could smell him, not only see him, but I remember the smell.
Yo creo que todas las personas tienen un cierto olor, ¿verdad? Esa mezcla de a veces jabón, sudor, lo que sea. Y yo a este señor, inclusive, recuerdo el olor.
And Mr. Gonzalez was not a young person when he did this crime, when he tried to kill me. He was a grown adult. He was not under drugs. He was not under any influence. This is what he wanted to do. And he thought he was going to get away from it. I don't think he expected me to fight back. I don't think he expected me to fight for my life. I think he just expected me to die.
El señor González, cuando cometió este crimen, no era un joven. Cuando él trató de matarme, era un adulto, ya una persona adulta, crecida, y no estaba bajo la influencia de ninguna droga, bajo la influencia de nada. Esto es algo que él quiso hacer. Yo creo que él no esperaba que yo me fuera a defender, no esperaba, creo que él quería que yo muriera.
And it's just perchance, just luck, just happenstance, just a blessing from God that a stranger drove by and was able to take me to the hospital across the street, where I looked up and I asked the doctor, am I going to die? And the doctor could not tell me yes or no because I had lost so much blood.
Y bueno, fue por casualidad o por suerte o por la bendición de Dios que un extraño se detuvo y me llevó al hospital al otro lado de la calle. Y cuando yo abrí los ojos, yo le pregunté al doctor, ¿voy a morir? Y el doctor no me pudo decir si sí o no por toda la cantidad de sangre que había perdido.
And as I lied on the table, not knowing if I was going to live or die, I said his name because it was really important that people know this is the person who did this to me, Genaro Gonzalez. And I said his name in that hospital, because he was not going to get away with this.
Y mientras yo estaba ahí acostada en la mesa, no sabiendo si iba a morir o vivir, yo dije el nombre de él. Porque fue muy importante, yo dije Genaro González, yo dije el nombre de él, porque era muy importante que lo supieran, porque él no se iba a salir con la suya.
And the fact that he would say that this was a lie just goes to the fact that he doesn't feel any remorse. He doesn't feel any remorse for what he did and what he has put me through this entire time. He is just a monster.
Y el hecho de que él esté mintiendo, el hecho de que él es un hecho de que él no siente ningún tipo de remordimiento por lo que hizo, por lo que me ha hecho pasar todo este tiempo, él es un monstruo.
And victims, we constantly blame ourselves. We say, why did I do this? Why didn't I do that? I was supposed to go to the Air Force. I actually had a leave date to go to the Air Force. And the day that he attacked me was my last day at work as I was preparing to leave New Orleans.
Las víctimas por lo general nos echamos la culpa constantemente y nos preguntamos por qué hice esto, por qué no hice lo otro. El día que él me atacó, yo iba a ir a la Fuerza Aérea. De hecho, ese era mi último día de trabajo porque yo me iba a ir de Nueva Orleans.
But you never feel safe. Like even today, you have issues with feeling safe and feeling safety. And I had to fight so hard to join the Air Force. And I think part of that fight, why I tried so hard to get in the Air Force, because I was medically disqualified. I couldn't do that dream that I had. But one of the reasons that I fought so hard to get back in the Air Force is just to have a safe place.
Pero uno nunca se siente seguro, uno nunca vuelve a sentir ningún tipo de seguridad. Y yo tenía problemas, ¿verdad? Sintiéndome seguridad. A mí me descalificaron médicamente pero era un sueño que no podía realizar y yo luché mucho por regresar a la Fuerza Aérea porque quería sentir que estaba en un lugar seguro.
And even though I was in the Air Force, a place that I thought was safe because it's, guarded by people with machine guns, he put in a Freedom of Information request for my location while I was stationed at Mountain Home Air Force Base. And so he even impeached that safety of being in a place that I thought was impenetrable. He still tried to locate me there.
I do apologize. What is the name of the place?
It's called Mountain Home Air Force Base.
Thank you. Y inclusive, ¿verdad? Cuando yo estaba, creía que estaba en ese lugar seguro, porque es un lugar que está protegido por gente con armas. Él solicitó una información de libertad para ubicarme, para saber dónde yo estaba cuando yo estaba en la base de la Fuerza Aérea de Mount Home. Entonces, incluso estando yo en este lugar que creí que era impenetrable, él trató de enterarse de dónde estaba yo.
And even before I was attacked, I had called the police to report his crazy behavior of constantly stalking me. And I remember the police officers acting like I was hysterical and telling me that I just probably just needed to take a drink, that he had left, it was probably okay. And, this is before he attacked me. And you feel like, what systems can you trust in? Like, you call the police, they're not helping. You go to the Air Force, but they had to give out my location because he put in a request for it, an official request. And you just never feel safe.
Incluso antes de yo ser atacada, yo había llamado a la policía, presenté un reporte a la policía, más bien hasta pensaron como que yo estaba actuando de manera loca, ¿verdad? Pero es porque esta persona me estaba acosando, casi que hasta me dijeron como que yo estaba histérica, que me bebiera algo. Pero incluso antes, ¿en qué sistema puede uno confiar? Porque yo llamé a la policía y aún así no tuve ayuda y incluso en la base aérea tuvieron que darle mi ubicación porque él presentó una solicitud oficial.
And so the only thing that really consoles me is that he is in a place where he cannot hurt anyone. And, it's my position that that's where he should be, in a place where he is not allowed to hurt others, because the brokenness that he has brought to my life it's not measurable.
Okay.
El único consuelo que yo tengo es que él está en un lugar donde él no puede hacerle daño a ninguna otra persona. Entonces, mi posición es que él debe permanecer en este lugar donde a él no se le permita hacerle daño a otras personas por toda lo que ha quebrantado él mi vida.
Okay, Ms. Tarver, we have one question that Mr. Phillips asking. Do you speak Spanish?
Señorita Atilis, una pregunta. ¿Usted habla español?
Yes, he spoke Spanish and English. He spoke to me in English, though.
Sí, bueno, él habla español e inglés. Él me hablaba a mí en inglés.
And you're understanding Spanish?
¿Y usted entiende español?
No, he can speak English. He's probably choosing not. He can't. I mean, I don't think he's 100% fluent, but he could speak enough English. Yeah.
No, él habla inglés. No creo que sea 100% fluido, pero puede hablar inglés. I do apologize, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Tarver. Did that sound right? Okay, thank you, Ms. Tarver. I know that was difficult to go through, and I appreciate you taking the time to go through it with us, and appreciate it.
You're very much welcome. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sí, muchísimas gracias, señorita Talbert. Yo sé que es difícil, ¿verdad?, pasar por todo esto, pero muchísimas gracias por su tiempo.
Okay, that leads us to the time for the interview. Mr. Tillis is going to conduct the interview, and then we'll have other questions if we have any, and then we'll vote.
Muy bien, ahora el señor Tillis va a proceder con la entrevista. Nosotros después haremos cualquier pregunta que tengamos para seguir con el proceso.
Good morning, Mr. Gonzalez.
Good morning.
Buenos días, señor González.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
Did you do this crime?
¿Usted cometió este crimen?
Yo no lo cometí. Es mentira. Ese día yo estaba con otra amiga en mi cuarto, un día sábado. Entonces, ese día sábado llegaron unos amigos que vivían arriba, me tocaron la puerta y yo estaba con la muchacha, con la amiga esa. Entonces yo abrí la puerta a ellos, entonces me dijeron a mí, González, por favor, préstame el teléfono, los cuatro ellos. Ellos me dijeron a mí que quería llamar, mandaron dinero a su familia a Honduras y
Un momento.
querían hacer llamadas.
Un momento,
le presté
señor.
la llamada.
Necesito que no hable tan largo porque no puedo transmitir el mensaje.
Okay.
Yes, I was asking him to speak in
Okay,
shorter
okay.
chunks. No, I did not commit that crime. That day, I was with this other girl in my bedroom. And that day, the people from upstairs, the friends from upstairs, knocked on my door. And I was with my lady friend, and I opened the door, and they told me, Gonzalez, can we please use your phone? Because they had sent or were trying to send money to to Honduras, and they needed to make a call. ¿Qué más?
Mr. Gonzalez, did you try to locate her at the Air Force Base?
Señor González, ¿usted trató de ubicarla a ella en la base de la Fuerza Aérea?
No.
No.
I have no more questions.
No tengo más preguntas.
No questions.
No, no tengo
We're
preguntas.
ready to vote.
Estamos
Mr.
listos
Tillis,
para votar.
you get to lead the vote.
Señor Tillis, ¿usted puede liderar el voto?
Mr. Gonzalez, due to the opposition of law enforcement and the victim, my vote is to deny. I can't see how she would not know you. And so my vote is to deny.
Señor González, debido a la posición de la ley y también de la víctima, me inclino a rechazarlo. No puedo ver cómo es que diga que ella no lo conocía. Entonces, mi inclinación es a rechazarlo.
I vote to deny too, based on no remorse for this crime, victim opposition, law enforcement opposition, and the violent nature.
Yo también voto por rechazarlo con base en que no hay ningún tipo de remordimiento por este crimen, también por la oposición presentada por la víctima y la oposición de los oficiales de la ley.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. I forgot to mention the violence. Y también por la naturaleza violenta del hecho.
Okay. I'll make this easy. Deny.
Sí, entonces también por esto los votos indican rechazado.
Your parole today has been denied. That's the end of the hearing, 10/21.
Sí, entonces su libertad condicional está siendo negada. Terminamos la audiencia a las 10:21.
Good morning, Mr. Green. The time is 10:27. I assume you are Mr. Green, Gus Green.
Yes, sir.
What is your DOC number?
Gus Green, 100-319.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Green. And we're at Baton Rouge, as you can probably tell, and our name tags are in front of us, and so you know who we are. And we're speaking to you remotely at Hunt Correctional Center. And so now we're going to ask you some questions or give you a chance to talk. And so you're the one that requested a parole hearing. So this is a parole hearing. So now tell us why you requested it and what you did to get where you are and why you feel like that you're worthy of getting out early.
Well, if the parole board allow me, I'd like to say something first before I start on that. I want to apologize and say I'm sorry to all the victims. And I would like to say that I'm not the same man I was 23 years ago. I've been through a lot, and I put the victims through a lot. And the charge that brought me in here, it was because I drank a lot, and every time my victim tried to give me, well, my victim was my old lady at the time, was my girlfriend, my daughter's mother. So every time she tried to get me help for drinking, I didn't want to listen to her, so I lashed out at her. You know, so that's on me. I wasn't a man. I didn't act like a man, but I got a lot of help since I've been in.
Okay. All right. So what you got to say, Mr. Green?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you for those words, and we appreciate you admitting all that and saying what you did. What kind of fellow has Mr. Green been since he's been at the institution of Hunt?
He's been at Hunt since 2015. He's had a total of 11 write-ups. The last was in January of 22. He's currently a hobby shop orderly and lives in Gulf Freedom, which he doesn't give us any trouble. We haven't had any issues with him, except for that last write-up. He's currently enrolled in victim impact class that'll end in April of this year.
Okay. All right. The way we handle, is that all you needed to say? I didn't want to interrupt.
Yes,
Okay. The way we handle these, each one of the three of us is the principal interviewer. We're all familiar with your case. In this particular case, Mr. Barra is the interviewer. He's going to ask questions. We'll follow up with any questions and we'll vote. Pretty simple process. Mr. Barra?
All right. Today, we're working on a case on Gus Green, who's a 7th felony habitual offender. He's been convicted of forgery, 3 counts in Tenshaw Parish, aggravated battery, unauthorized entry of inhabited dwelling, 2nd-degree battery in Lafayette Parish, and carnal knowledge of a juvenile in Evalls Parish. Also, while on a work detail, when he was incarcerated, he raped a juvenile at the fire station in the bathroom. He's currently served about 63% of his sentence, and he's here today for us requesting parole. So my one question is, why do you think you deserve parole today after serving 63% of your sentence?
Because I'm a better person, I'm a better man than I was. You know, I was a person with problems, and I done took care of them problems. And with alcohol, and I understand now that once you're alcoholic, you're always alcoholic. And I had to get help for that. And if I surround myself with people that are with the same problem I was drinking, and I can lean on them, and I got help. And I want to get out of here if the parole board see fit to become a citizen again.
Okay, and one more question. When When you raped that girl, juvenile, in the bathroom at the fire station on a work detail, you were drinking while you were on the work detail?
Yes, sir. While we was on, work detail, we was able to get alcohol. Yes, sir, I would.
Right, that's the only, question.
I have a question. You did say you've gotten help with your alcoholism. What about the sexual abuse?
That too, I got help with that too. We took classes on that, and it helped a lot, but most of that was on me. Making bad decisions, so I got that fixed. And if the board allowed me to get out of here, I'm still gonna go through programs for that.
What did you learn in the sexual abuse classes that you took?
I learned that women's are human beings, and the man not supposed to look at them like that, supposed to treat them equal. And if a man look at a woman like that just for sex, then he's not right.
Okay, I have no questions.
Morton, can you confirm any of the sex offender classes that he says he did?
His sex offender treatment is incomplete. He did not complete.
Not complete.
I
Mr.
don't
Green,
have the details of what
tell us
she's
why you didn't complete the class?
I'm still going through. I'm still taking it. I went through part 7 with that. Went through part 7 and
You haven't taken the sex offender treatment, the 4 phases.
no, that's 4 grade. I'm still finishing that. I'm still going through that, still taking that. That in big impact.
All right. Any questions, Mr. Craig?
No questions for me, sir. I think it's time to vote, Mr. Barrow.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that you are trying to better yourself, and I think that you need to continue doing that job, complete your sex offender classes. However, you've only served 63% of your sentence. Nowadays, people are serving 85% for these type of crimes. So you're a little short on your time, and that rape of a juvenile while on a work release really throws a monkey wrench into my decision to be able to feel good about letting you go. So for those reasons, I vote to deny your parole today.
I concur with Mr. Barrow.
I concur with Mr. Barrow. The time is 10:35, and I'm sorry to tell you, but your parole request has been denied. End of the hearing. Thank you. Okay, good morning. It's 10:42 in the morning, so it still is morning. We're remote in Baton Rouge, and you can see we're at headquarters in Baton Rouge, and you can see our names in front of our places here. And we're going to be handling your case today. And you are Mr. Jonathan Parker, and we're talking to you remotely at Hunt Correctional, and we appreciate the folks at Hunt for hosting us this morning. Mr. Parker, what we're going to do now is in just a few minutes, we're going to hear what you have to say about what you've accomplished since you've been there, or anything you want to say about the crime. It'll be up to you to convince us that you are worthy of getting out early. Okay, and then we're going to hear what the folks at Hunt have to say about your behavior there. Then we're going to hear from two folks, your sister and your father, they are going to be on Zoom, and they're going to tell us why they feel like you're worthy and should be getting out. Then we're going to turn it over to Mr. Tillis to my left, who's going to do the interviews with you, and then we'll ask questions, and then we'll vote. Pretty simple process. So the day is yours right now. Convince us somehow that you're worthy and deserving of getting out early from what you were sentenced for.
Mr. Chairman, this is Warden Buttress. I just wanted to make you aware, he's got a revocation questionnaire in front of him.
We have a revocation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought this was a parole hearing. So this is a revocation hearing. Let's switch gears. All right. You've already been out once. You're back in. And so now you want to get out again, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have a questionnaire in front of you, correct?
Correct.
And you have signed this questionnaire, right?
Correct.
And it talks about a number of different things, but you understand that and you're ready to proceed ahead, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. There's some things that you have been charged with, or that you've been alleged to have violated. You had a preliminary here already, and now it's our turn to decide if you should be revoked on your parole or not. And so Mr. Tillis is going to handle the question. Like I said before, I had that part right. Nothing else, but I had that right. Mr. Tillis, would you go ahead and tell us or go ahead and ask the question?
Good morning, Mr. Parker. How are you?
Nervous.
Don't be nervous. I am too. I'm going to read some rules and violations that you violated, or saying that you violated. And after I read them, will you answer guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a plea, or not guilty with a plea? LA number 13, Texas rule number 8, violation 1. Enroll and participating in a treatment program for sexual offenders as directed by the supervising parole officer, or about 10/17/2024. Failure to participate in treatment programs for sexual offenders by being unsuccessfully discharged from the program. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with the statement?
I'm not gonna lie, guilty. Got the evidence.
Thank you. Louisiana 13, Texas Rule 8, violation 2. Not viewing, possessing, purchasing, or subscribing to, or cause to be purchases of subscriptions to any photographs, literature, magazines, books, or visual media which depict sexual explicit images, not communicating or causing a communication with a person for sexual explicit purposes through telecommunication or any other electronic means, including 1-900 services, on or about 10/14/2024, failure to not possess sexual explicit materials. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
LA number 13, Texas Rule number 8. Violation number 3, not viewed, possess, purchase, or subscribe to or cause to be purchased or subscribe to be photographs, literature, magazines, books, or visual media which depict sexual explicit images, not communicating or causing to communicate with a person for sexual explicit purposes through telecommunication, any other electronic means, including 1-900 services on or about 1014, failure, not communicating or causing communication with a person for sexual explicit purposes through any electronic means. Okay, how do you plead on this charge? Guilty, not guilty, or guilty with the statement?
Guilty, sir.
So you're saying you're guilty on all 3 charges?
Correct, I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. Is there anything you would like to say in your defense?
I didn't know how serious parole was. First time around, I didn't know anybody on parole. That's my first time ever on parole, so I didn't know. I apologize. I mean, I don't know if I give it another chance. I know now, and I'll be 100% more focused on being better.
Let's see, did we let the parents speak? We did? Didn't yet. Okay, I have no more questions.
I have no question.
I don't have any questions. You want to go on?
You have on your behalf, speaking on your behalf, Shawanda Dunbar,
Sean,
sister,
sir. Yes, sir.
and Johnny Parker,
Yes, sir.
father, by Zoom.
That's correct.
You want to speak, Mr. What's his name? Mr. Parker, you want to go ahead and say something on behalf of your son?
They say you have to be.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
Do you have anything you want to say on your son's behalf?
Yeah, I know he's really sorry for what he did. And if he comes back home, I swear to you, he won't do it again. I'll see to that. I need his help here. I'm an invalid, and it's getting worse every day. And I just need his help to help me. He lost his mother while he was in prison, and I don't want him to lose me that way, but that's what's going to happen if he stays there, because I'm not doing very good. And I just need his help. And he's sorry for what he did. And please help him to get back, because I need his help. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. His sister?
Right.
Ms. Dunn?
Yes, sir. I don't know what else to add to what Dad just said, except for the fact that he's a good kid. He really is. He just doesn't think before he acts a lot of times, and he needs help on that area. And he was trying to get into counseling to help him, I guess, better manage his thoughts and processes. He doesn't process things very easily. He's always had an issue with that. And he was in the process of getting into counseling and seeking help to help manage that on medications or therapy or whatever. And then he got picked up and there that went. But like I said, he's a good hearted kid, and like dad said, he needs him here. I can't unfortunately be here with dad 24/7. And that's what he needs. And Jonathan was a huge help, getting him to his doctor's appointments, helping him when he falls. He just fell the other day and almost broke his hip, and it would have been nice if Jonathan was here. And I've got a lot of health issues, and I'm scared to go to the hospital myself because there's nobody here with dad to take him to the hospital if need be. And so I've neglected my health, and it's not, it's not a good thing. But I'm all shaky. I'm sorry. Because I don't know what to say to basically beg y'all to please consider letting him come home, and we swear that he will not do this again. I will make sure of it personally. Dad will. And Jonathan will too. Jonathan recognizes where he messed up, and he's acknowledged it, and he's willing to do better, and he will do better. I'm sorry, I'm just
So he won't get a phone except he can call.
I have his phone. His phone's completely turned off, and he won't get it back. But anyway, I appreciate your time. Like I said, I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words, but I appreciate the time. So thank you.
Mr. Tillis?
Mr. Jonathan, what happened to the class that you were kicked out of?
What do you mean? What happened?
Yeah, why were you kicked out?
I guess because of the violations, I guess. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I guess when the parole officer decided to do the parole violation, that's when she decided to terminate me from the group.
What were you planning to do if you were released?
Well, take 100% responsibility and focus and strive harder at the group, and harder to maybe find a part-time job to get me out of just do something. I was gonna take my dad fishing and just, do that with him, do something with him, and go to counseling, grief counseling, mental health counseling, get mental health treatments better, because I know I need better medication. I just plan on doing better with what's right, and just get away from all this other mess that I can't be involved with. Like I said, I didn't know how serious it was the first time around. Now that I do, I'm not gonna screw up again. I promise you'll not hear from me again.
How much time have you incarcerated?
I'm now over 12 years, sir. I got out 11 years, 8 months on good time in 23. But by the time I've been here, it adds up to 12 years, sir.
Okay, thank you. I have no more questions.
Mr. Barrow?
I don't have a question, but I can clarify for you, since you don't realize why you got warned and kicked out of treatment. It looks like from the reports I'm seeing from Texas, on October 17th of 2024, for failing to participate in treatment program for sex offenders, you were terminated for failure to participate. And the parole officer got a warrant for you on 10/28, which was 11 days after, probably because you got kicked out of the treatment. It wasn't that you got out of the treatment because of the warrant. Because you got kicked out of treatment.
Okay.
That's how that went. No questions.
I don't have any questions. Mr. Tillis, you prepared to vote?
Yes.
May I say something, please?
Sure.
At the preliminary hearing, the counselor did say that there's another program there that she feels beneficial to me. That would be much better. And I will strive to make 100% effort to participate and not hide anything and do what I have to do. A lot better than what I was. Like I said, I was just skating by because I didn't know how serious the decisions of the parole. I didn't know anybody that was on parole, so they couldn't give me no pointers on what to do. Now I understand fully, and I've taken full responsibility for my actions, and I I will not do anything like that again, ever.
Who was it suggested that to you?
It was the sex offender counselor, sir, the Miss Wendy Wyatt at the preliminary hearing. She was told that if would I be welcome back, she said there's another program there that would be more beneficial to me.
Okay, thank you. My vote today is going to be to deny, and I think you should get some training while you're still there, some abuse training while you're there. I'm sorry, to revoke.
Okay. Mr. Barra?
My vote is also to revoke due to continued criminal behavior and failure to participate in the training when you had the chance.
And I concur that. So that's 3 votes that your parole will be revoked at this particular time. It's 10:57 in the morning. That's the end of this hearing. Mr. Thomas, Steve
Yes.
Thomas. Is that
Yes,
you?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me ask you something. What is your DOC number?
427975.
Okay, and do you have a revocation, parole revocation, a questionnaire in front of you?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign that?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that was on there that you signed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're here because of there's some certain things that you may have violated and certain rules that you agreed to not violate, but then you're accused of having violated them, and that's why you find yourself in the situation that you're in right now. The way we do these cases is that we have each one of us assigned a number of cases. We're all familiar with all the cases, but we have one primary interviewer. Your primary interviewer today is Mr. Danny Barra. To my right, he's going to be asking you questions. Do you have an attorney?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think you do have an attorney. Is that Mr.
Maurice Hall on this representing.
Mr. Thomas, do you have let me ask again, do you have an attorney?
No.
Maurice.
Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, I believe he previously had a revocation hearing, but they continued it because he indicated to the board that he could not read or write. And so when I think the initial questioning in the last hearing, when he was looking at his questionnaire, he indicated that he couldn't read or write, so the hearing was continued. I think maybe that is why Maurice Hall is participating.
Okay. Mr. Hall, let me put it up.
There.
Mr. Hall, is that the way you understand this, the way that this went down?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and your name is Maurice Hall, and you are an attorney representing Steve Thomas, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go back to Mr. Thomas, and then we'll give you a chance to talk when he's through.
Okay.
That's the way that this hearing will go. Okay, Mr. Barra, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you go ahead and ask the questions.
All right, being we have so many violations, 1 through 10, we're gonna take up the explanation between each one of them, rather than go to the end and do it like we normally do. So what I'm gonna ask you about is violation number 1. You were released on February 27, 2023, after receiving a technical violation and failed to report as directed. A parole warrant was issued for your arrest on 4/24/23. How do you plead to not reporting after your technical violation?
Plead guilty, sir.
Did plead guilty at the preliminary hearing. Number 2, you failed to report as required. You last reported to probation and parole on November 23rd, 2020. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
All right. Condition number 3, you failed to provide a valid residential address and attempts to visit you at the last address of record was on March 24, 2023, and a parole warrant was issued for your arrest on 4/24/23 because they could not verify your address. How do you plead about not staying at a verifiable address?
I pleaded guilty, but I had a statement that I was homeless. I had an address at the time.
All right, go ahead and let's talk about that one right now. Guilty with your statement. What's your statement?
And I was homeless and I couldn't get an address at the time.
So you weren't at that address, but because you were homeless, that's the reason.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Hall, at any time, if you need to jump in, just go ahead and let us know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I will.
It's pretty much, this is pretty much going exactly like the preliminary hearing you already attended.
Yes, sir.
So number 4, you have warrants issued by the New Orleans Police Department for possession of a firearm or carrying of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon, distribution of crack cocaine, distribution of Schedule I fentanyl, carrying a weapon in the presence of controlled dangerous substance, and illegal carrying of a weapon. What do you have to say about those being arrested for those warrants?
I never was arrested, sir.
Okay, well, what do you have to say about being charged with them?
I'm not guilty.
Not guilty. All right, and tell me about that. Why you say you're not guilty?
Because they never arrested me and then I never brought me to jail and I ain't never had that on me.
Okay. I'm gonna read from the preliminary hearing report. It says, Officer Rip observed the black male later identified as Steve Thomas, date of birth 3/9/81, complete multiple hand-to-hand transactions of powder and rock substance believed to be fentanyl and crack cocaine. Thomas was observed heating the powdered substance and using a syringe to administer the substance after completion of the transactions. Thomas armed himself with a K-bar style knife and concealed it in his waistband at this point. Thomas was taken into custody and officers read him his rights. Thomas admitted that the bag belonged to him. That was part of the testimony. There's a lot more than that, but that was what I highlighted as the key part of the testimony from regarding that violation. Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I remember it.
The cops came and grabbed you right there that day?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Did you have a bag in your pocket or your hand of drugs?
Yes, sir.
Oh, they just grabbed you and took you for no reason?
They grabbed me and they pertained to me and they questioned me.
And according to you, no drugs were found?
No drugs was found. I ain't went to jail or not.
Okay. Reading further into that line, it says items seized included $70, 2 small plastic bags of suspected fentanyl from Thomas's front pants pocket, 2 clear bags containing multiple pieces of off-white rock-looking substance suspected to be crack cocaine from his left sock, a clear plastic bag containing an off-white substance, and $50 located inside a black bag. What do you have to say about that officer testimony?
I'm not guilty. No, sir. I don't know nothing about that.
All right. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Condition number 5. You have warrants issued. Wait, that's the one we go. No, it's the same.
Notified about dangerous weapons.
Okay. The print's so small, I'm having to struggle a little bit. You have warrants issued by the New Orleans Police Department for possession of a firearm, carrying a concealed weapon. I'm sorry. Yeah, carrying a firearm or a carrying of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon. Basically, this is the one about the knife again in particular. Did you have a knife on you that day?
No, sir.
Number 6 says that you will work at a job approved by your parole officer, and if you become unemployed, you immediately report that to your probation officer. You have failed to provide a valid job, employment. How do you plead to that?
No job, sir.
No job?
No, sir, no job.
So you plead not guilty, but admit that you did not have a job? All right.
Mr. Just for clarification, he did plead guilty to that. I'm not sure if y'all heard him correctly.
Oh, I thought I heard him say, okay, thank you. Number 7, an appointment letter was mailed to your last address of record on 2/28/23, and you did not respond to that. How did you plead to not responding to their appointment?
I don't have no, I was homeless.
Listen, so you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty?
Yes, sir.
And the reason is because you were homeless, you didn't get the letter.
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 8, you refused medical treatment from the University Medical Center in New Orleans when you were brought there prior to booking. How do you plead to that?
I sent up here.
What did you say?
I got sent up here from the hospital.
So you refused medical treatment?
Yes, sir. Come on.
All right. Regarding that, I have highlighted that Officer Ramos presented evidence, NOPD incident report number OD07264, where Thomas stated to officers that taking him to the hospital would be a waste of time because he will refuse the treatment. Thomas also stated that to the officer that he wasn't in custody. He wasn't going to jail, and he knows that if he refuses care at central lockup, they will not take him. Thomas further stated that he's been doing this for 3 years and knows that central lockup will not take him. How do you plead to telling those officers that if I say I'm not going to go to the medical treatment, that the central lockup won't take me? Is that?
Not guilty.
You didn't say that? Number 9, I agree to visits at my place of residence or employment by my parole officer at any time, and also agree to searches of my person, property, residence, or vehicle when reasonable suspicion exists that I have been engaged in criminal activity. You failed to provide a valid address. Attempts to visit you at your address of record was unable. A parole warrant was issued on 4/23, and you failed to provide valid. How do you plead to that? They say basically what they're saying is because you didn't give them your address and because you didn't have employment, they were unable to search or do anything regarding that condition. How do you plead to that?
Guilty. I was homeless.
Guilty. All right, number 10, you will pay a supervision fee to the Department of Corrections. Payments due the first day of every month. You are currently $2,298 behind. How do you plead to that?
I'm guilty. I ain't no job.
No job. All right. That's all the violations. Mr. Hall, do you want to step in and add anything regarding his guilty pleas and explanation?
No.
He's on mute.
Oh. And is this 2
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, I don't have anything further to add. Mr. Thomas was he's very clear and concise in his answers.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I have no questions.
I have no question.
All right, Mr. Thomas, looking at the guilty pleas and the findings of the board, you pled guilty to some of these violations and you pled not guilty to some of them. However, with all the explanations, the board finds you guilty of all of them. So being you violated your parole in 10 different ways, we have no choice but to revoke your parole. That's my vote today.
Okay.
I concur with Mr. Walroth.
Okay, and I concur also. Mr. Thomas, we found that we're going to revoke your parole for violations of rules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's a full slate. So anyway, good luck next time, and your parole this morning has been revoked. It's 11:20 in the morning. Okay, good morning, Mr. Clifford Owens, is that you?
Yes, sir.
And what is your DOC number?
334527.
Okay, do you have a parole revocation questionnaire in front of you with your name on it?
Yes, sir, I do.
Did you sign that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you understand what's on there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're in Baton Rouge at headquarters. You can see our name on here. We're going to be determining whether to revoke your parole or not. You are remote at Hunt Correctional, and we've been there for quite some time now, this morning. And so we've had several hearings, so we're going to take your hearing up now. I'll be the principal interviewer today, and then they'll ask questions if they have any. Let's see, you're facing a revocation, and you're accused of violating rule number 4 and rule number 8. Okay, are you familiar with those 2 rules?
Yes, sir. I am. I'm familiar with it.
Okay, on rule number 4, which says that you'll stay away from criminal activity, what you're being accused of is, and it's no secret, or it's not just an accusation, you served 364 days in California for a charge of threatening crime with intent to terrorize. And that was a plea bargain. You were originally charged with simple assault and battery on a spouse. Did you serve almost a year in California on that charge?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, how do you plead to that rule violation?
I plead guilty as a technical violator. On the verbal, we got into altercation, and me and my wife, got into it, got heated, and I might have said some things I didn't supposed to say. And I'm sorry for what I said. I wish I would have never said it. Put me in the situation that I'm in now.
Okay, so you're pleading guilty to having been involved in criminal activity since you've been on parole, correct?
Yeah, I have got arrested. Yes, sir, for a misdemeanor. Yes, sir, I have.
When did you get on parole?
October the 2023, sir.
October of 23. Okay. All right. And the second rule that you're accused of violating, it says that you were supposed to have gotten proof of mental health evaluation. You were supposed to enroll in couples counseling, and you were supposed to have done some community service. And that's part of the rules, that there's certain things that they can put on you, your parole officers or the parole board, when you get out, and you're supposed to have done these things. Did you do those? Do you have a mental health evaluation?
I have got one done when I was in the county jail, evaluation in the county jail. But yes, sir, I did get one done.
Where is it?
For the evaluation, I don't have it. I mean, I don't have it, the evaluation. They don't give me a copy of the evaluation.
Well, how do we know that you got it done besides you just saying you got it done?
Well, I had one done. Matter of fact, I had two of them done from the streets. One of them came from the streets and did one evaluation in that jail, and they did one in their cell in the county jail.
Okay. Did you enroll in, let's go to the next part. Did you enroll in couples counseling?
No, sir. I just had got to California and I just learned the area. I mean, I didn't know how to really get around because everything was overwhelming for me after 26 years. I didn't know how to get around. In Stockton, I didn't know how to get around.
Okay. You got out in October of 23. And of course, after that, you spent a year in jail. How long between when you got out in October 23 and when you got back in jail, how long was it?
Like 4 months.
So you were out 4 months. You could have taken couples counseling in that 4 months, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree.
Okay. And it says the third thing on Rule 8 is that you had no proof of community service. were you supposed to do some community service?
Well, sir, it says a year after I'm out. I went out for 4 months, and a year after I'm out on the streets, I started my community service. And like I say, I went out, until my full year to start my community service, sir. It's a year after I'm out. After I think it's G on the sheet, on the parole certificate. G said year after I'm out. I went out for 4 months, sir.
All right, so it
would have been in October last year.
So are you pleading guilty or not guilty to that?
I don't plead guilty, sir. I mean,
Okay.
as a violator, and I apologize for my actions. I know I do respect my freedom, and I want my freedom. I was on a good start once when I left the parole project going to California, that was the worst decision I've been made in my life, sir. I mean, cause I was about to stay long term. When you're going somewhere where you ain't got no funds, no transportation, and you be in control, or a person give you access to the car and take their car keys and things like that. I didn't have anything. I called my parole officer before this happened, James Martin, and told him at the parole office in Baton Rouge that I got problems at this place right here. He said, Clifford, your parole is at that address. I told him to remove me out of this situation before this happened, sir. I told him. I called him, and as far as the urine test of things, I took a urine test, a drug test, and I passed all of them. They don't give me no proof to show that that I took it.
Okay. That's all I have right now, Mr. Burrow.
Yeah, I got a question. On February 18th, 2024, where that was when you got the charge that you pled guilty to. Tell me a little bit about that. What happened that day? What's the details of that offense?
Well, I was looking at my phone. I was looking at some women on YouTube in board shorts, and I was being managed, and she busted me looking on my phone, and I didn't know how to turn on my incognito. And everything I was looking at on that phone kept popping up more and more of it. And she took my phone. That's how we got into it. And I went a little too far. I mean, I cussed out and things like that. And I should have had more self-control. This is my first time being married. And she's controlling, she's insecure. She think, she's 63 years old and I'm 48. And I kind of like, I didn't know how to handle my wife, for as, in a relationship. And what do a husband supposed to do? I didn't know how, it's my first time being married straight out of prison.
That's what happened.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Kind of leaving out some of the biggest part though, huh?
I mean, what ended up happening?
Breaking all the windows, busting the TVs, crashing the car.
Yeah, I take full responsibility for that. I mean, I got hot after she took my phone. I did. I mean, I did do that. I mean, I'm not lying. I take full responsibility for my actions.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I just wanted to see if you were gonna own up to all of that.
If you're released, where would you live?
I want to go back to the parole project long term so I can get on my feet and get me a job. When I was in California, sir, let me explain this to you. I put an application in for Tesla in Lakeland, California, and in Amazon. They called me for an interview when I got locked up. They called me for an interview since I had been locked up. As soon as I got locked up, they called me for an interview. So I was on the road doing the right thing. It just, me and my wife had it out. I'm pretty sure y'all understand because y'all done had problems in y'all relationship that, things happen and it won't happen again if y'all give me another shot.
Are you and your wife still together?
No, we're not together. We separated. I mean, no, we're not together.
I see. We have more questions.
Okay. All right, any questions?
I have no more questions.
Okay. All right. Mr. Owens, it's time for me to vote first. And my vote is that we revoke you. I think that I think anytime you go to jail for almost a year for doing something on a plea bargain while you're on parole, that you've done something pretty bad if you take a plea, and the police report's plain that you got some anger management issues. And then the other thing is you had three simple things to do. You did, I'm giving you credit for the mental health, but I'm not giving you credit for the couples counseling and the proof of community service because you admitting you didn't do those. So you had 4 months out and you ended up back in jail for a year and you didn't do 2 out of the 3 things you were ordered to do. So for those reasons, Mr. Owens, my vote is to revoke also.
I'm gonna concur with Mr. Prater for the same reasons.
I concur.
Okay, Mr. Owens, I'm sorry to say, but your parole has been revoked today. The time is left. Now it's our business at Hunt Correctional, and we appreciate you hosting us today at Hunt, and that's the end of our hearings for today. Let's say the time is 11:49. It's still the 20th of March.